Are there any niggers here tonight? Can you turn on the house lights, please? And could the waiters and waitresses just stop serving just for a second? Yeah, and turn off the spot. Now, what did he say? Are there any niggers here tonight? I know there's one nigger here because I see him back there working. Let's see. There's two niggers. And between those two niggers sits a kike. And there's another kike. That's two kikes and three niggers. And there's a spick. Right? Hmm? There's another spick. Ooh, there's a wop. There's a Polak. And a couple of grease balls. And there's three lace curtain Irish mix. And there's one hip, thick, hunky, funky boogie. Boogie, boogie. Mm-hmm. I got 3 kikes here. Do I hear 5 kikes? I got 5 kikes. Do I hear 6 spicks? I got 6 spicks. Do I hear 7 niggers? I got 7 niggers. Sold American. I've passed with 7 niggers, 6 spicks, 5 nicks, 4 kikes, 3 guineas, and 1 wop. You almost punched me out, didn't you? Well, just trying to make a point.
D-A-N-G-E-R-F-I-E-L-D, Dangerfield.
All right there, short video, short clip. It's not on YouTube, so it's going to be a bit of a strange format, and because it's going through Twitter and I don't really understand how it works, there's going to be some potentially some buffering issues, but not a problem. Let's look at it. How to be funny and not be a dick. Now this is already weird from the outset. There's an amazing book by Mikhail Bakhtin, Rabelais and the History of Laughter. Essential reading, especially if you're into comedy, but if you're really into comedy, I mean, if you're just into comedy, I wouldn't go and read this heavyweight tome about the European tradition of the festivals. But for me, who's exceptionally interested in laughter, I found it an absolutely amazing document, and you know, a rich source of the motivations, the methods, the celebrations, and to an extent the origins of the European carnival tradition, the festival tradition, in which the figure of humour was characterised by attacks on religion, attacks on the state, on the aristocracy, on the landowners, attacks on pretty much everyone. There was a hell of a lot of vomit. There was a thing called Billingsgate, weirdly enough, which is the obscene, profane language. You know, we can go right back to the court jester and just this idea of pushing boundaries, treading over the line, stepping over the line, you know, taking risks, essentially being funny, because that's what makes it funny. And so when you say how to be funny and not be a dick, you're separating the essential truth of the figure of the comedian from his act. You need to be a dick. You are a dick. You're an arsehole. You're an idiot. You're a fool. You're a clown. And you'll see in this video that separation of the figure of the comedian, the figure of the joker, from his truth results in absolutely terrible comedy. And all that remains really is our good friend virtue signalling, which is this funny. Let's have a look. And of course, ironically, what a pair of pricks.
Comedy is a tool, and like every great tool, tools can be used for good or they can be used for evil. You can build something with a tool or you can use it to destroy something. And I think when comedy is used to build something and to create a positive thing for everyone, that can be both really funny, really entertaining, and can be supportive to a lot of people.
I mean, and there's your problem. I mean, up to that last line, that's fair enough. Yeah, comedy can be a tool. Yes, it can contribute. It can build things. It can build a community. It can build a, I understand that, but that little last bit there is a concern for me.
And can be supportive to a lot of people.
Oh, it can be supportive to a lot of people. Which is what I want from my comedy. No, it fucking isn't. That's what I want from therapy. And I've said this so many times. Safe spaces, trigger warnings, all that shit comes from group therapy. Where it has a place, where it has a function, which is where I want it. But in the same way, I don't want people making jokes in group therapy, where I don't want people standing up, pushing boundaries, taking the piss, vomiting, making me laugh, using profane and abusive language in therapy. In the same way, I don't want therapeutic concepts in my fucking comedy, you pair of pricks. Yeah, this is from Vice. Ooh.
Hello? Yeah, you got it. I'll be right there.
I mean, it's comedy gold. They've certainly, they've worked out a great formula here.
My name is Todd Hausman.
Hey, I'm Ben Gordetsky.
And together we're the Folklords.
We make culturally, socially, and politically informed improv and sketch comedy.
Now, all good comedy is culturally and politically informed. Because it has to be. Comedy is about awareness, self-awareness, but also an awareness of your environment, an awareness of what's happening in the world, so that you can communicate things to people that they understand. And that's fair enough, but we kind of know that's not what these pricks are talking about.
This is how to do comedy and not be a dick.
Which is shorthand for, this is how to do comedy and remain 100% politically correct. Comedy is almost the inverse of political correctness. Everything that political correctness seeks to do, everything it exists for, stand-up comedy, or just comedy, good comedy, is the opposite of. I mean, let's go back to Lenny Bruce, 50s, late 50s, early 60s. One of his, probably his magnus opus, really. He does this amazing skit, and it's not on video because it was a long time ago, but the audio's out there, and he stands up in this club, and of course I'm on the tube, so I can't even fucking say the words. But he says, okay, something like this. He's like, excuse the accent, Americans. He's like, okay, what have we got in here tonight? Oh, we got a couple of N-words. And you can hear the tension in the room. And he goes, and next to them we got a couple of S-words. That's the SPIC words for the Italians. Then he goes, we got a couple of K-words. That's the Jewish word for sounds like something you fly. And he just keeps going, and he names all of the different groups with their sort of most popular pejorative. And he just keeps going and absolutely disempowers those words. They're nothing. Everyone's got one, and when everyone's got one, no one's got one. It's a great set, I'll see if I can dig it out and put a link in the description. These bastards are going to do the 100% opposite of that. Oh no, there's nothing bad in the world. Tuck all that under the carpet and let's just pull some funny faces and do some fart noises.
Punch up, don't punch down.
Which is fine, but then who gets to say what's up and what's down? If I were you, if you're a comedian, just punch. Because it's a comedy show, it's stand-up. No one's taking it too seriously. The thing about punching in comedy is, at best it's yourself, but there's no one else on the stage. Just fucking punch. Punch up, don't punch down. Look after person.
Comedy is such an amazing tool for speaking truth to power.
Depending on who you describe as power, but yeah, anyway, carry on, prick.
But that means you have to take on targets that are bigger than you, more powerful than you.
No, it doesn't. Absolute nonsense. Take the piss out of absolutely anyone, including yourself, including the audience, anyone. Just take the piss. That's what's funny about it. Punching down can be absolutely hilarious. because you're punching down. Oh no, but you lot. Oh no, you're good people. Oh, you're doing comedy, but it's good. You know, you've got your social function is to make the world a better place, which is what people want from their fucking comedy, obviously.
Don't make fun of people that are already hurt and are already down. Take
Oh, don't make fun of people that are already hurt and already down. This is disgusting. Can you imagine going and watch these bastards and just be like, kill me. Kill me.
corporations, take down.
I talked over it, but he said take down corporations. Oh yeah, I bet they're absolutely shitting themselves when the folk lords go on telly. Take down corporations, take down the horrors. Look at that. Take down the horrors of the world. Yeah, you're getting a little bit above yourself there, you average donkey.
The horrors of the world. Take down things that are fucked up and broken.
Try our new Colonial brand turkey.
And there you have it, straight away. Self-hating whites. Take down the horrors of the world. Oh, colonial turkey, because colonisation was a bad thing. Here's some black and white photos to prove it.
Pressure cooked under the weight of colonial oppression and stuffed with our special spices of broken promises.
Asking yourself,
Absolute comedy gold, that. I mean, I'm struggling to hold my sides in.
why is a really effective and helpful tool? If you feel like you're being censored or your words are at risk of
Told you, buffering.
something, like, why do you feel that way? If your argument ends in, like, I really wish I could say that racist joke, then that's a really absurd argument to be having.
Yes, it is, because you've framed it in such a way to make it sound like that. I mean, at the beginning, he said, if you feel like you're being censored, if you feel like you can't say this, and then just sort of gets onto this racist stuff, they're trying to suggest here that if you feel like you're being censored, maybe you're in the wrong. Maybe that's because you should be being censored. And this idea that a racist joke, and you know, progressives, they can't even talk about race. Just to talk about race is racist to them. And that's what he means. You know, I haven't heard a racist joke since like 1975. What they mean is jokes about race, which they can't handle because of their deep-seated racist beliefs that they spend their lives just repressing rather than just getting out there. Because they think talking about race is racist. Because they're a pair of pricks.
Why do I need to say that? Why does this affect me? Why? And you'll probably get to a place of like, oh, I don't need to say that.
You need to stay within the very restricted, limited and suffocating, claustrophobic arena of political correctness, where your comedy loses absolutely every actual social and historical function and becomes much like the drawing on the top of a cheap box of chocolates. Simple, bland, baby food, pre-digested culture that is no use to anyone.
Oh yeah!
Own your mistakes. Part of making comedy is taking risks.
You think so? Well, really? God.
And putting yourself on the edge, and sometimes the edge cuts you, and that's cool. But when you know you've hurt someone, or you've said something bad or done something wrong, or even if it's like a joke of yours from a while ago that now in the light of current context is not so funny, just own your mistake. Like say, whoops, I fucked up. If someone says that hurts me, that offends me, you just say, oh, I'm sorry.
What a fucking absolute tirade of bullshit. What is that? Well, if you've hurt someone, if you've offended someone, even if it was something you said fucking decades ago, which in the current cultural, politically correct, extreme censorship context is now not PC, just say, oh, I'm sorry, I fucked up. I mean, most of the comedians I like, and me, I'd be apologising to everyone in that fucking audience. Why have you got to pander to the pathetic, weak bastards who are offended by jokes. If someone come up to me after my show and went, I was offended by that hurt me, I'd say, well, you need to find a professional because you've got mental problems. It was a joke, you fucking spasmoid.
Hey.
And that's what you're left with. That's once you have bowed down to the church of political correctness and sworn to remain within their pathetically pointless clocheur. This is what you're left with, this kind of hilarity. Wankers.
Stay in your lane. We all live rich, detailed lives full of vivid moments of truth, and if you can extrapolate comedy from your experiences, that's sweet. You don't get to talk about the experiences of other groups.
Oh, you don't get to talk about the experiences of other groups. Why? Why? What? This is terrifying. No, can't talk about any other groups. So me, as a straight white male, can't talk about any foreigners, can't talk about gays, lesbians, trans, can't talk about children, can't talk about old people, can't talk about mechanics. I mean, intersectionality, let's have it right, it continually fucking cuts itself down. So I can only really push to its logical conclusion, which progressive ideas always do. I can only talk about myself. Stay in lane, my lane. Doesn't sound like connection to me. Doesn't sound like humans getting on. Doesn't sound like that's bringing groups together. Feels like it's separating everyone based on ridiculous character traits and other aspects of ourselves that we did not even choose. Race, gender, sex, whatever. Fuck off, I'll talk about whatever I like, you absolute donkey.
To your own authentic shit.
I'm speaking from my own perspective as an Indigenous person.
Wanker. Well, I'm going to speak about whatever I want, whenever I want, actually.
It really sucks when people use us for things. We've been used
For things. He couldn't even say it. It really sucks when people use us for jokes. And he couldn't say that because he knows that sounds as utterly pathetic as it actually is. It really sucks when people make jokes about Indigenous people. Why? You speaking for all Indigenous people there? Seems a bit much. Stay in lane, mate, because I reckon some of them can handle it. You know why? Because I've done it and I've seen it and I've spoken to them. But you are now talking for all of them. Stay in lane.
For thousands of years. And if you want to use this for something, you're just contributing to that legacy.
You're contributing to the legacy of the oppression of Indigenous people if you make a joke. If you make a joke. I mean, there's no chance you might be highlighting that oppression. There's no chance you might be breaking down barriers. Oh, no, no, no. You make a joke. A joke. Something whose entire existence is there to make people laugh. If you do that, you're contributing to the oppression of Indigenous people. Or whoever you make a joke about. This is wrong think. This is terrifying. This is Brave New World without the bravery.
Just have to work hard. Comedy has always been hard work.
The listening and watching yours has been, I will admit that. I found comedy quite easily because it's nice to make people laugh.
It's not like this is a new thing of like, oh, comedy's now harder because now I have to think. Like, it's always been about thinking. It's always been about being smart. It's not an easy thing to be clever and political.
He says it, and yet he's been demonstrating that all along.
It's super easy to say like, oh, no one likes my jokes because everyone thinks I'm a racist. It's like,
Why do they keep saying racist? What are you talking about? Who? Hashtag never happened. No one likes my jokes. Everyone thinks I'm a racist. In the weird world of progressives, this kind of stuff exists. It's absolute fantasy. Just madness. Just these peculiar, extreme examples of things that therefore allow you to say other things but actually don't exist. False premises.
Like, well, that sounds like a you problem.
Because when I got one finger pointing at you, I got three pointing at me. I mean, intimacy is into me, I see. Fuck you, you absolute comedy parasite.
Yeah.
Someone's hammering.
And there you go. How to be comedy without being a dick. Which is much like saying how to do comedy without being funny.
Thanks for watching.
Sweet!